last question for me, and because I know you're probably hungry. And
it's all good.
Don't say it's all good, bro, because I'll keep you here talking. We'll go down the list of the next 6 months of fights coming up. I have you breaking them all down.
We're due, man. We're due.
But no, I wanted to ask you this isn't something that you've ever had to deal, or I don't think you've ever had to deal with. But there's a few fighters out there who are having to deal with it, and some are having a hard time, some aren't having a hard time, some just make the decision. Can you just kind of touch on, because I know, I'll give you an example, Adrien Broner. I think he's changing trainers. I know he's been working with Kevin Cunningham, and he's kind of verbalized it in some ways, but then at the same time,
That's official?
For all intents and purposes, it's official.
Okay.
That I know of. However, Adrien seems reluctant to make it official.
Yeah.
And I think that is because he's having a hard time, I don't want to say parting ways, because it's not like, Mike Stafford's always going to be.
It's like family.
Right, that's like family. But at the same time, I feel like Adrien, he's made the decision that I need some different type of help, as far as my career is concerned. Because it is a career, and, you got to maximize the short window that you have, and, he's coming off of a loss. And he's got a tough fight coming up with Omar Figueroa. So for all intents and purposes, it's official. Although, like I said, he's kind of been talking out of both sides of his mouth as far as it's concerned. But how do you, as a fighter, and again, I don't know if you can answer it because I don't think you've had to go through with this, but how do you go through something like that where I have to make a change, but it's tough to make that change? And maybe it's not a trainer situation. Maybe there's something else that you've had to deal with. Maybe it's just switching glove brands or something like that. You know what I mean? Like, how do you come, to the point where you can make that decision and be confident that that was the right decision and just do it cleanly?
Yeah, it's tough. Like, I can't speak on Adrien and Stafford's situation and Kevin's situation, because I don't know too much about it. But whether it's a trainer change, like you said, even brand of gloves change, I've had to go through that.
Promoter,
assistant trainer. I was talking to a young fighter yesterday, and I think sometimes we don't realize that, like, we're CEOs of a business, and we're the business, right? We have to make some tough decisions, and tough decisions are just that, they're tough. And sometimes you're not popular when you make them. But I would rather make the decision and trust my instincts and do what I feel led to do. After doing your homework and thinking about it and going through the process and dealing with that fallback and living with the results as the CEO, then to be afraid to make the decision, knowing I should make the decision, I feel led to make the decision, but I don't want to deal with the blowback and then deal with the consequences and the regret and whatever comes with that. So it's a tough decision, and it's going to be some blowback no matter what you do. If you need to make a change and you don't for the wrong reasons, it's going to be some consequences for that. And then it's going to be some consequences if you make a tough decision and individuals are not happy about it. My thing is as a CEO, as long as you're not mistreating anybody, you can be confident in the decision that you make, regardless of what it is. If you could sit down and say, look, I respect you, this is where we are, we've talked about this in the past, but I'm at this point right now, and this is how I think we should go about it. I'm not gonna throw you under the bus, don't throw me under the bus. Let's, whatever the situation is, you gotta make it. It's more detrimental to not make it than to make it, And I think sometimes we just look at each other like, we look at ourselves like just fighters, or I'm just athlete. Nah, man, you're actually you're the head guy of a business and a corporation. You know, you're doing a service that's making you money. You have to disperse that money and pay everybody. You have to assemble the team, and you may have people help you assemble the team, but ultimately you got to say what you're comfortable with. If you got a strength and conditioning coach right here, and for whatever reason you don't like his system or his plan, or you're not comfortable with him, and you got to go over here, you have to ultimately make that decision or confer with the coach and say, man, what you think? I like this guy, I like that guy too, and then make the final decision. So, yeah, it's tough. It's no easy way to talk about it. It's no easy way to do it, but it's more dangerous to not make it for the wrong reason than to make it for the right reason. Let the blowback come. Let the fallout happen. But as long as I'm not mistreating anybody or throwing anybody under the bus or making that decision for the wrong reason, then you can feel confident making that decision. You can go for it, make it, deal with the uncomfortability and everything that comes with it, but then have peace after that and say, look, I did what I had to do. It was tough, man, but I did it. Now let me, hopefully it turns out the way that I wanted to and I see the fruit of the decision I made. And we don't always make the best decision. You can talk to any CEO in this world. He'll tell you, man, I messed up right here. But hopefully, you look at the track record, the good decisions outweigh the bad ones.
Right.
That's how you keep the doors open. That's how you keep the machine moving, and everything like that. And if you make a mistake, you can always go, man, I blew it, man. That's a strength too. I blew it, man. I made a mistake. Man, my bad. You forgive me? So it's tough, man. It's tough, but you got to do it, man. If you feel compelled to do something, and it's something that's been on your mind and on your heart for an extended period of time, and you went through whatever process you got to go through to get to that decision, you got to make it. You got to make it. You got to make it.
Yeah, I know in the past you've had conversations with Adrien.
Yeah.
And I know he when you talk, he listens.
For sure.
This fight he has coming up with Omar Figueroa, this is a tough fight. It's a tough fight.
Yeah.
I don't know if his back is against the wall coming off that loss
For sure it is.
against Mikey Garcia, but
Absolutely.
he definitely is going to have to take this seriously.
Yeah.
And hopefully he does.
Yeah.
Because Omar Figueroa ain't no joke.
Yeah.
Beat Spence in the amateurs, didn't he?
Yeah. Oh, did he? I didn't know
I
that.
believe so.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? Yeah. It's of course his back is against the wall.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like that's really the mentality you should have
Every fight.
if you're undefeated. Can't lose. And something may happen, you may lose. But that's the mentality. I can't lose. That's what's going to get you up early and keep you in this gym late. So, I feel like, Adrien, he's been around, man. He feels the crunch. He feels it. He knows what people are saying. He knows what people are saying internally. He knows he can't afford to lose. That's why you see him making some drastic decisions, because he knows what time it is. And, I'm pulling for him, man. Like I've always said, he got my full support, man. I love him. I care about Adrien, the fighter, but more importantly, Adrien, the man. And, Adrien's a fighter, though, man, just in life. I think he's going to be all right.
Yeah.
I think he's going to be all right. He just got to just stay the course, man, and follow through with what he's saying he's going to do.
Yeah.
If he can do that, I think he'll be all right. Yeah.
What's the